Five Nights at Freddy's, a horror game that was a last-ditch effort for a failing creator that became a massively popular franchise with 10 mainline games with 2 DLCs, countless spin-off games, countless books, and new games coming soon officially, and a ton of fan games. I decided to challenge myself by beating every single mainline FNAF game, DLC, and ending in 27 hours. Before we get into it though, what's going on guys? My name's Ethan, welcome back. And I haven't seen anyone take this kind of challenge to as extreme as I did. I've seen people do challenges like this before, but I'm taking it to a whole other level. So if you guys do enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. This took a ton of time to work on. Without further ado, let's get into the games, challenges, and rules that we will be doing for this challenge, which doesn't sound right, but we're going with that. Now going into this, I wanted to stay on the mainline Five Nights at Freddy's games, which I've already played on my channel, so if you guys want to check those out, I would recommend going to check out my first reactions to a lot of the games on the main channel. And plus, I'm playing on PlayStation, so this is the games that I have access to at this time. This 27-hour challenge will include Five Nights at Freddy's 1, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Five Nights at Freddy's 3, Five Nights at Freddy's 4, Five Nights at Freddy's sister location, Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator, Five Nights at Freddy's Ultimate Custom Night, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted The Curse of Dreadbear DLC, god that's a mouthful, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin, and Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2. These are all games that have come out at the time of this recording. However, FNAF Into the Pit is actually supposed to release the same day as this video, so that is why it will not be included. Now the rules I put in place for this challenge are actually extremely simple. Rule number 1 is no using cheats, ladies and gentlemen, not cheese, cheats. No using cheats under any circumstance except for special circumstances, because that made it a lot more confusing. Basically, no using cheats unless there's certain circumstances, which I will go into a lot later when they come up. Rule number 2 is play the FNAF games in release date order, so I can't just play Security Breach, then FNAF 4, then Help Wanted. It can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. Number 3 is no custom night except in certain circumstances, for example, Ultimate Custom Night, because that's just custom night, but we will be playing that game. And finally, rule number 4, go as fast as possible. Those are very simple rules. And I'll explain all the challenges once we are actually in the games, so it'll be a lot easier for people to understand. So instead of explaining all of the challenges now, explain them when, for example, for FNAF 1, this is the challenge. So without further ado, let's get into the part which everybody wants to actually see. And I hope you guys all enjoy me beating every single Five Nights at Freddy's game and ending in 27 hours. Everyone enjoy. Five Nights at Freddy's 1 is what actually started the entire franchise. I know, crazy, that first game started the franchise. It was a great game when it was released, so it could still be scary to this game. My strategy going into this one was the same one I had for when I beat 720 mode, which is still one of my proudest gaming achievements. The challenges for this night, for this entire game, is to beat nights 1 to 6 and get the 1987 Golden Freddy Easter egg on Custom Night. Night 1 was a cakewalk, as you'd expect. There's no Foxy, so pretty much you could just do whatever you want. Check the doors, check the lights, check the cameras. Oh my fuck, it's Golden Freddy. What the? I've played FNAF for 10 years, and I have never once experienced the Golden Freddy Easter egg, which is crazy to me. Like, I mean, for this video, it's perfect, but what the fuck? Anyway, night 2 is really simple. Night 3 is actually when I had to start paying attention more and doing math. So, Freddy's active this night, which he moves a total of 5 times before he reaches your right corner, and he'll make a laugh sound every single time. So every single time I heard him laugh, I'd have to be like, okay, he laughed, he's in this location now. After the 5th one, whenever I flip up the camera, I would look at both Pirate's Cove, and the right hallway corner to see Freddy. Now, when Freddy eventually left, I would flip back to Foxy's camera, and every single time now I flip up the camera, I would have to close the right door so that Freddy wouldn't jump scare me. Other than that, again, super simple. Night 4 and Night 5 were pretty much the same, just with my power dwindling lower and lower every single night. I think I actually did run out of power on Night 5, but regardless, we beat it like it was nothing. And the real challenge was Night 6, due to the fact that I actually started dying on this night. This was the night that actually took me the longest in this game, because I kept dying. So again, though, it didn't take too long to beat the entirety of Night 6, which is really good because I need that time. And then after that, went straight to custom night, put in 1987, and got the Golden Freddy jump scare to finish off with a time of 1 hour. Now, for some dumb reason, my recording glitched, but 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 12 seconds. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 was actually my introduction into Five Nights at Freddy's, so this game will always hold a special place in my heart. I remember playing it on my old iPod. Yes, an iPod was how I played FNAF in the beginning. The challenge for this game is, again, really easy. Just beat Nights 1 to 6. Night 1 is a breeze since right out the gates, I just began my strategy, which is go into the right, wind up the music box as soon as you put the camera down, put on the mask, and check the main hallway. The last part doesn't really matter. The flashlight part doesn't matter until Night 2. Night 2 is when it actually becomes more difficult due to, pain in the butt himself, Withered Foxy. Now, Withered Foxy can only go away from the flashlight. It's still super easy, but later on this definitely gets more tedious with just flipping down the camera and mask, flashlight, and just do that on repeat. Check the vents and everything like that. Night 3 was actually probably when I was getting more nervous because the Withered animatronics activated. Now, I don't know if they could do this on Night 3 or Night 4, but they have the ability of, when you're in the cameras, to pull down your camera. Which means you need to have really, really freaking fast reaction time. They act like Toy Freddy, but when they pull down the camera and you're not ready for it, and you don't have fast enough reflexes to put on the mask, you're screwed. You're straight up screwed. Now, luckily, I'm on edge at all times in this game, so Nights 3 to 5 were really, really easy because at the end of the day, Night 3, you just get introduced to the Wizards. Night 4, just a more difficult version of Night 3. Night 5, just a more difficult version of Night 4. Which, again, it's the same gameplay loop. Most of the animatronics share one mechanic, which is super simple. Night 6 was when it actually got difficult again because I did die, and the introduction of Golden Freddy was a bit annoying because he just added another level of distraction that would make me have to do something when I had to do something else, kind of thing. So yeah, other than that though, we ended up finishing with a time of 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 47 seconds, putting our total time up to 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 59 seconds. Five Nights at Freddy's 3 changed the game completely. Before, you had to stay in the office and look at only one specific camera for a specific reason. For example, Foxy to keep him in his cove, or the music box to wind up the puppet. Now, you have to look for one animatronic, but you have to use the entire establishment's cameras to find him. The challenges for this game is to get the good ending, get the bad ending, as well as beat Nightmare Night. Night 1 was probably the hardest night I have done because I was dying of boredom. This night is great for making people understand the establishment and learn how to play the game because there's no animatronics. However, when you played the game a bunch, it gets very, very boring. Granted, I did beat the first minigame, which was BB's Air Adventure, but other than that, it was super, super, super boring and super easy. Night 2 is when we actually had to play the game. I started my strategy where I kept him in Cam 10, closed the vent from Cam 10 to my office, and just kept him there. If he moved to Cam 9, I would lure him back, and as soon as he appeared, go over to my maintenance panel, repair the audio, and go back. And if I heard him move, if I saw him move, and I heard a vent noise, immediately go to the vent, shut down Cam 9's vent, Super, super easy. And if you ever went into a vent, I would repair something like camera or ventilation, just so it's a lot easier. I also beat Mango's minigame and BB's minigame again, so I can get the good ending. Moving on to night 3 was, again, the exact same strategy, just with a harder AI, and I did Chica's minigame. Night 4 was putting codes into the wall, because that makes sense to get one of the most frustrating minigames of all time, the Dreadbear minigame. Beat that, and finished the night like nothing. Night 5, again, super, super easy. Just played RXQ's minigame. No, I'm not I'm not calling him his full name. I'm calling him RXQ or Shadowbar. I'm not going to call him RXQ something, blah, 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 blah. I do not care. Also beat the Happiest Day minigame, and then watched Purple Guy die at the end. Now, this is where we are going to be breaking rule number 1. So rule number 1, under specific circumstances, is allowed to be broken, and that is going to be if I have to replay an entire game over again, I am allowed to use the cheats that are available to me. For example, no errors, fast nights, all of that stuff I am allowed to use to make it fair, because I'm not replaying an entire game to get an ending because I just don't play the minigames during that. But the rule with that is I have to do the hardest ending first. So the true ending, for the good ending, you have to beat all the minigames that I'm going to be doing during the regular playthrough, and then playing through the game again. I'm allowed to use cheats because I just want to get through the nights, and I don't have to do anything. But for some reason, I got the good ending again. I think it's because I didn't reset my account. So we're just going to pretend that's the bad ending, and we're going to move on. And then played Nightmare Night. Nightmare Night was actually one that I was really, really nervous to get into, because Springtrap, I've had times where he's in Cam 9, I go repair something, and then I see him scurry across my office, or like behind the glass. I go check the cameras, he's in Cam 9, and then I put my cameras down and I get jump scared, because that doesn't make any logical sense. How is that fair? Luckily, I beat the night without too many issues, and finished off a time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 53 seconds for FNAF 3, which is actually really, really good, considering I had to play the game twice and beat Nightmare Night. And total time we are currently sitting at is 3 hours, 46 minutes, and 52 seconds. Not bad so far, not bad. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is one of my favorite all-time FNAF games due to the fact that this game has the scariest animatronics in the entire series, and it also takes its place in a bedroom. This game gave me nightmares for a very, very long time. The challenge for this game is to beat nights 1 to 7, aka nights 1 to 6 plus the Nightmare Night, but nights 1 to 7 is what I'm gonna call it. Night 1 was easy, pretty much just starting my strategy, run to the left door, listen for breathing, either flash the light or close the door depending on if you hear breathing or not. Then run to the right door, do the exact same thing, turn around and face the bed and flash the Freddles, give them that good old flash. Oh, so dumb. After beating the night, we play a mini game to show the crying child. Pretty easy. And then we play Fun with Plush Trap. I thought this would be very, very overpowered to skip the time, because if you didn't know, Fun with Plush Trap, you make him land on an X, you skip 2 hours. But I suck at this game. I only ever beat it one time, and I freaking suck at this game, man. It's bad. It's bad. Night 2 is when things actually get tougher, because you need to do this while also keeping Nightmare Foxy out, because if Nightmare Foxy gets into your room, you now have to start checking the closet, which is time that other animatronics can move closer, or the Freddles can appear more often. So trying to keep them out is kind of the best way to do better on this night. Luckily, because I beat the Fun with Plush Trap, this is the only time I beat Fun with Plush Trap, I got to skip 2 hours, which made this night even easier. Night 3, once again, just a harder AI version of Night 2. And Night 4, a harder version of Night 3. Now, Night 5 is actually when the entire game changes, and I don't mean that by like, oh, there's a mechanic that changes it. No, literally all the animatronics are gone. They are all replaced with Nightmare Fredbear, which gave me nightmares as a kid. He was the most terrifying for me as a kid. Basically deal with him, listen for his footsteps to go left and right across the hall. If you hear him on the left side, move to the left. If you hear him moving toward the right, go to the right side. Now, the way I strategize this is if I listen to the running, I'll give it about 3 seconds before I go to the, or give it 2 seconds, honestly, before I go to the hallway, because he's known to kind of go thump, thump, thump to the left, thump, thump, thump to the right, thump, thump, thump to the left. It just goes back and forth there. So you kind of have to wait for that. And it's easy. When he laughs, though, is when things get difficult, because if he laughs and it's followed by footsteps, don't stop doing what you're doing. But if you just hear a laugh and no noise, I always check the bed behind me and then check the closet. He can never appear at the bed or the closet unless he laughs with no one at the end, like no footsteps at the end, which is a good way to know, okay, he's doing this, I need to react like this, which is what I like. After this, we watched the Bite of 87. I'm kidding, it's the Bite of 83. I know, it's the Bite of 83. I know. Night 6 is actually interesting because we play against all 5 of the animatronics, not all at one time. From 12 a.m. to 4 a.m., we are playing against the original 4, Nightmare Freddy, Nightmare Bonnie, Nightmare Chica, and Nightmare Foxy. After 4 to 6, though, we deal with Nightmare Fredbear, which is interesting. I like the idea of having, like, 2 different nights mixed into one. I really like that idea at the very end of the game. A whole new night. I love that. And Night 7 is the exact same as Night 6, just, again, with more difficult. We have a new animatronic, aka Nightmare, aka Nightmare Fredbear, with a new color scheme. That's pretty much all Nightmare is. He's a little bit more of a shadowy figure, but that's it. And then, yeah, that was a pretty easy game. We finished with a time of 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 17 seconds, which puts our total time up to... I don't remember, but our total time is 4 hours, 51 minutes, and 9 seconds. I don't know why it was so difficult for me to say that. FNAF's digital location is very different from any other Five Nights at Freddy's game before it. In this game, you need to listen to a robotic voice while doing tasks. The challenges for this game is to get both the true ending and the fake ending, as well as playing custom night to get the purple guy minigame. Night 1 was really easy. Just follow the orders, like you don't even have to worry about dying. There's nothing here that can actually kill you. Night 2, we deal with the Bitty Babs while hiding underneath the desk, sneak into Balora's gallery, deal with Funtime Freddy, and that's that. When you're running back from the parts and service back to the office, you can sprint. Ballora can't catch you. You can sprint the whole way. She'll talk. You can just keep sprinting. Night 3 is where I actually is getting annoyed because of a one Funtime Foxy. Funtime Foxy moves in the dark. You need to flash in order to see what's in front of you. I kept running into him and dying, and it's infuriating. However, once I got past that, go and fix Funtime Freddy, which was really easy, and then get jump scared. You have to get jump scared on this night in order to move on to Night 4. There's no way around it. It's a mandatory jump scare. It happens after a certain amount of time. But yeah, Night 4 is another night that I was nervous for through this entire challenge because it was the spring lock night. And it's terrifying. You have to survive a whole 3 minutes while trying not to die to spring locks. On top of that, wiggle mini arenas off of the mask so you don't get jump scared. Except for the ones that climb into the suit for some reason. That's okay. Just if they climb up your face, it's weird. But I got it really lucky and was like partying after I beat that night. Night 5 was also really easy. You literally just run straight to the repair area that we did before. Night 3, send baby off to the scooper, and then get scooped. That's the entirety of the game. Nice and easy. Now, we need to play the baby death minigame. For this minigame, you need to feed all the children cupcakes. And then you gotta get an ice cream at the end of the game, run all the way back to the beginning, drop it on the floor, Elizabeth walks out, gets killed by baby, and there you go, now we got a key. Then we have to redo the entirety of Night 5 to the part where we're able to walk, and instead of going to the scooper, just go straight and right to enter the private room. Private room is basically just us versus Ennard. The strategy for him was to listen to sound cues to know where he was and check the camera on him. Pretty much, if he's in the left side, like if you see him in the left side, flip your camera, flip it to the left side. If you hear another noise, check the camera, If he's not there, put it down. If you hear a third noise from that side, close the door, then check the camera. He should be there. After that, custom night. Custom night, we have to beat 7 different challenges at very hard mode. Now, this challenge would be extremely, extremely easy if it weren't for Bonnet. So, Bonnet, you have to poop her on the nose. With a mouse, that is super, super easy. With a joystick, it is almost impossible. It's frustrating as hell. I'm having a panic attack whenever I face her. And then after we watch Michael turn in completely purple and throw up your mom's robot spaghetti, we finished Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location with a time of 3 hours, 11 minutes, and 25 seconds, which is the longest game that we have played so far, and puts our total time up to 8 hours, 2 minutes, and 34 seconds. Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator is a game that I am very, very mixed on. On one hand, you have a great and really, really fun tycoon with a bunch of mini games, but on the other hand, you have a night mode that is super easy and can be beaten without you actually trying, and it's kind of boring. The challenges for this game is to get 5 different endings. Now, the 5 endings that we'll be going for in this one is the Lore Keeper ending, the Bankrupt ending, the Insanity ending, the Mediocre ending, and the Blacklisted ending. Like Five Nights at Freddy's 3, we will be allowed to use cheats for every ending except for the Lore Keeper ending, which is the one that we'll be starting off with. Loading into it, I needed to make sure I had as much money as possible and use all my tokens, because the security puppet is $12,500, which is fucking insane. So I had to use all my tokens every single night. And I was very, very lucky in order to have enough to buy both Fruity Maze and Midnight Motorist on the very first night. I was able to beat Midnight Motorist first try, but I really suck at Fruity Maze, so didn't get much of that done. Then I loaded up the night and did the easiest strategy in the entire world, which is put an audio lure on the bottom right vent, put a task, and look left. That is it. You'll obviously have to juggle the tasks with the fan to not make too much noise, but that is literally it. After night 1, ended up beating the Fruity Maze 3 different times in order to get the cutscene with Susie and Spring Bonnie, and played some more mini games, and then got back to the night. Again, super, super overpowered and easy, just doing that strategy, and of course, also doing the in-between mini games and actually salvaging all the animatronics. Forgot to mention that part. An example, we interviewed Afton this night, so again, super easy. This game is very, very repetitive. So night 3, again, or before night 3, again, played a bunch of mini games, got a bunch of money, and then played night 3. Then interviewed the animatronic, then went back, did another thing of mini games, played night 4, interviewed Lefty. It's just a repeat upon repeat upon repeat. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the full amount for Lefty, but $2,500 is $2,500. I didn't get $5,000, unfortunately, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I finally bought Security Puppet and played it 3 different times, but then I ran out of tokens. You need to play it 4 times. So I went into night 5. Again, a little bit more a little bit more difficult, but again, wasn't really too challenging to deal with. Finally played the puppet game 1 more time, and then saw Charlie's death and saw the puppet curl up next to her. After that, just went straight to the final night because there was no point in going to use my tokens, and got the ending with the amazing speech with Henry, got the gravestone ending, and we beat the Lore Keeper ending. Now, for the next 4 endings, I'm playing the entire game all over again. I'm allowing cheats. First ending was the easiest ending in the world, and that's the Insanity ending. Basically, you buy this weird thing, I don't know what to describe it as, but you buy it, your monitor will have a blue power button instead of a green one. Push that power button and you'll get a whole bunch of different blueprints, and that is the Insanity ending. The next ending was the Bankrupt ending, and I got this done after the first night because I got sued, so I just decided to settle, ran out of money, and again, another ending done in literally 0 time at all. So that's now 2 endings. We got the Bankrupt ending, Insanity ending, 3, and then the Lore Keeper. Now, the Blacklisted ending was an interesting one. So basically, you have to beat the entire game with a liability risk over 50. Once you finish night 6, you get the ending. So I had to make sure I got all of the markdown stuff, and I was able to do this pretty simply. And again, got the blacklisted ending for being very risky. And finally, the easiest ending was mediocre ending, which is basically just play through the entire game without buying a single thing. So I just upgraded my console and just played the game. And again, beat the ending. So a lot of these endings are very, very easy. It just depends on what type of a player you are and which ending you will get. But finished off with a time of 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 13 seconds, which adds up to a total time of 10 hours, 13 minutes, and 47 seconds. Ultimate Custom Night is one of my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's games because of the endless amount of ways to set up the animatronics. The challenges that I decided to do for this mode is beat 1,000 to 8,000 by going up by 1,000 every time, get the Old Man Consequences Easter egg and the Fredbear Easter egg. Starting off, I got the Death Coin and did the Fredbear Easter egg, which basically set Golden Freddy to 1, get the Death Coin, and use the Death Coin on him, and you get a Fredbear jump scare. Next was the Old Man Consequences Easter egg. You had to just set him to 1, and it didn't appear on my first try. So on my second try, I talked to him and then sank into the lake. Now time for the actual gameplay. For 1,000 points, I used Phantom Freddy, Rockstar Foxy, L-Chip, Helpy, and Funtime Chica. The night was extremely easy to do because I couldn't die unless I hit Rockstar Foxy's bird, which was pretty much impossible. For 2,000, I added Phone Guy, Trash and the Gang, Scrap Trap, Phantom Mangle, and Phantom BB. Again, this night was an absolute cakewalk for me. For 3,000 points, I added Springtrap, Molten Freddy, Ennard, Nightmare, and Nightmare Fredbear. This is where I kind of needed to concentrate because now there were actually animatronics that could kill me, and I actually ended up dying to Springtrap, unfortunately. But other than that hiccup, the night wasn't too difficult, and I made it to 4,000 points with no problem. For 4,000 points, I added Nightmare Bonnie, Nightmare Mangle, Baby, Balloon Boy, and JJ. This was very, very easy because you can use the camera stall strategy on Baby, Nightmare Mangle, and Nightmare Bonnie by just leaving it on one camera, and you win. That's 3 animatronics for free, basically. Again, easy. 5,000 points, I added another 5 animatronics, obviously. Those being Rockstar Chica, Freddy, Bonnie, Rockstar Freddy, and Scrap Baby. I don't know why it took me so long to add Bonnie, because you just don't look at Pirate's Cove, which is the easiest thing in the world, but he's on the roster now. And interestingly enough, I got the Samurai Freddy cutscene. I mean, that was cool to see, but it was kind of annoying because that's time wasted. But regardless, got to 6,000 points and added Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, Withered Bonnie, Jacko Chica, and Nightmare Freddy. Again, beat this night first try and got the Toy Chica school cutscene. That's interesting. We'll go with that word, and we're going to move on very, very quickly. For 7,000 points, I added all of the duck characters, so Pig Patch, Happy Frog, Mr. Hippo, love that guy, Orville Elephant, and Ned Bear. And these guys actually made the night a lot more difficult in the early game because the setup just took a bit longer, and once I loaded in the game, I had to do extra time. Again, got the Samurai Freddy cutscene, and then for 8,000 points, I added Withered Chica, Mangle, Ballora, Golden Freddy, and Music Man. Yes, you have to say Music Man like that. There's no other way to say Music Man. After dying a few times, I beat the night and got the weird anime Chica schoolgirl cutscene. Weird, just gonna pretend that never happened. Got to the menu and finished this challenge with a time of 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 22 seconds for a total time of 11 hours, 26 minutes, and 9 seconds. Before we get into Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, I actually made a mistake and didn't tell you guys what the challenges were for this game, and I don't really feel like re-recording the whole thing, so I'm going to throw this in before you see the actual recording. And our challenges for Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted is to get the main game ending, so the pizza party ending, get the I'm going to call it the glitch trap ending, and then the gate ending. Those are what I'm going to call the endings. You guys will understand when you guys see what happens, but without further ado, let's get right into FNAF Help Wanted. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, in my opinion, is the best Five Nights at Freddy's game that has ever come out. This is my opinion, though, obviously, but it is the fact that you have Five Nights at Freddy's, a horror game, mixed with VR, It is terrifying. It is fun. Like, it's amazing. Now, this game has a lot more strategy that I could put into it compared to a lot of the other Five Nights at Freddy's games. Starting off, I knew exactly which modes was going to be the hardest, and so I started them off with Dark Rooms. I had to beat Dark Rooms. That was like the one that I knew I needed to do first. I started off by beating Fun with Plush Trap, which is the exact same minigame from Five Nights at Freddy's 4, as well as Fun with Nightmare Balloon Boy, which was the same as Plush Trap, just with Nightmare Balloon Boy. Then the level I was most terrified of, Plush Babies. Those damn plush babies. In this level, you are playing in a prize counter with a ton of FNAF plushies, and you have to flash plush babies. There is no plush babies in the room at all, except for the ones that you have to flash. Now, this would be easy if you can just keep your light on. However, the light has a battery. If you run out of battery, it will charge all the way to max before you can use it again. The way you recharge it is just not using the flashlight. Now, my recommendation for this is just spam the flashlight. That starts to hurt your eyes, though, so be careful. Spam the flashlight, and if you see them, hold it on them. This minigame was the one I was most terrified to get into because I felt like it was going to take forever. However, I got extremely lucky and was able to beat this, thank God. Next was Funtime Foxy, which again is the same minigame from Sister Location. Now, this is a perfect time to mention the 16 tapes. Now, in Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, you need to collect 16 different cassette tapes and a cassette player in order to unlock the two secret endings. And one of them was in this level. Now, I won't be going into depth and telling you, oh, you can find one here, or here, or here, or here. You just collect 16 tapes. That's going to be for a future video, kind of explaining all that. But, yeah. Then you have to do something called the Nightmare Realm. Now, you just flip a little lever on your table, and it sends you to the Nightmare versions, which is just more challenging versions of the games that you already played. Fun with Plush Trap, all you do is get shorter. Fun with BB, again, you're shorter, but there's now balloons in your view, so it's much more difficult for you to see him. Fun with Plush Babies, god damn it. Every single FNAF plushie turns into a plush baby, and now you need to find plush scrap babies, which is a lot more difficult than the first one. It's stupid. I don't like it. And finally, Funtime Foxy turns into Lulbit, and then there's also an army of babies, Funtime Freddy's and Funtime Foxy's in your way to make it even more difficult. The next set of game modes I played was Vent Repair, which is really easy. There's only two levels and then 2 Nightmare versions. Mango's level was super easy. I know this one like the back of my hand, and same with the Ennard level. The Nightmare modes are, again, super easy. All that Mango's changes is that all the vents open at once, which makes my life even more difficult because all I have to do is bang, 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 done. And I know it by memory. Nothing really changes. Ennard's level, again, it's the same thing, just certain mini games are just a little bit more difficult to see. Then we played Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Again, Five Nights at Freddy's 3, again, it's the same thing. The only thing that's different is that the vent cameras are on their own tablet, and you can use the maintenance tablet while using cameras or the audio lure. Again, did the same strat for Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Now, one thing that's really cool about this game is that the Night 5s for FNAF 1, 2, and 3 are unique. For Five Nights at Freddy's 3's Night 5, you are playing while Fazbear Frights is on fire. Which is fucking awesome. It is on fucking fire, and that's freaking awesome. And I'm so sorry for swearing, but it's that cool. I'm so happy they did this. This is something that I would love to have seen in the original game, but playing while the place is on fire is so much fun. Then I decided to do the most fun mini games and the easiest and my favorite mini games just to get them out of the way. And that is the parts and service mini games where you have to repair Bonnie, repair Chica, repair Freddy, and repair Foxy. I knew these like the back of my hand, so it was easy. And then the nightmare forms of Bonnie, Chica, Freddy, and Foxy were super, super easy. Then played Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which was cool because you get to see the animatronics walking around. And then beat again, no issues. Played the Disco Blacklight Night 5 is what I'm going to call that. Again, super easy. Decided to start doing some of the Night Terrors levels and did Nightmare Freddy and Nightmare Yon. I almost said Nightmare Marionette, but it's Nightmare Marionette. Again, these are the same as Five Nights at Freddy's 4 with slight changes depending on the level. And then Nightmare Babies is interesting because you actually play in the office and you have to close the closet doors on what I can only assume as Mega Baby. Yes, Mega Baby. Look at the screen. Is that just baby or is that Mega Baby? You gotta say it like that from now on. You gotta go Mega Baby. Sound like you're in a rock band or something. Then I played Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Again, Five Nights at Freddy's 1 is, well, Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Night 5 was cool. You get a cool black and white look with doors that randomly open and close. Huh. Then finished off by beating my nightmarish nightmare Fredbear. Without too much trouble. It was actually not that bad. Then finally played the Pizza Party minigame. And obviously, relaxed, got some pizza, got some cake, and then turned into Freddy Fazbear and sang as Glitch Trap Dance, the weirdest dance ever, the weird bunny guy. Then, thanks to having all 16 cassettes, I got the last 2 endings, which is, the first one is we turned into Glitch Trap, and then finally, we got locked behind this weird gated door, and Glitch Trap kind of like soaks into the darkness. And we ended up finishing with a time of 3 hours, 12 minutes, and 52 seconds, which puts our total time up to 14 hours, 39 minutes, and 1 second. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, the Curse of Dreadbear DLC is a mouthful of a name, like Jesus Christ. This DLC, in my opinion, was perfect for this game. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted was already an amazing game, and adding the nightmare animatronics and a Halloween aesthetic into the game made it even better. The goal of this game is to beat all levels, get the captain rank on Foxy's Pirate Adventure, and get the Vanny mask, as well as use it on the Glitch Trap plushie. Before we go into the update, however, with the Halloween update, with the DLC, the Curse of Dreadbear DLC, came Five Nights at Freddy's 2 Withered mode. So that's what we're starting off with. So it's just on the Nightmare edition of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It's just with the Withered animatronics, so it's the same thing. Now, into the actual update, first thing I did was beat night 1 to 3 on the night mode, or the danger keep out mode. So I beat night 1, night 2, and night 3. It was just Five Nights at Freddy's 1, but you need to flash the Jacko animatronics. After that, walking down a terrifying hallway with nightmare animatronics stalking you and Nightmare Freddy gradually creeping closer behind you. Then built my own mangle, which was kind of fun. I really do enjoy that kind of a mini game. Went trick-or-treating at a house full of animatronics, which is normally a bad thing. But one thing that was really lucky for me in this one was that I got Balloon Boy 3 times in a row. So every time I knocked on the door, Balloon Boy would appear, which was perfect. It made the game so easy. Finally, on this set of minigames, I built Dreadbear, which is just a Frankenstein version of Fredbear, which, again, these are my favorite type of minigames, build a mangle, the parts and service, just the things where you're like building stuff or repair. Those are just the most fun minigames in my opinion. And that's just how it is. Unfortunately, I couldn't say the same thing about the next level, which is Pumpkin Patch. Plush babies. You can never escape them. They will always hunt you down. They will track you for the rest of your life. And now they're in a pumpkin patch, hiding in trees, with bats flying at you, behind a tractor. It's just horrible. It's horrible. I hate this level. I beat it, don't get me wrong, pretty damn easily. But it's still horrible. Next, Pirate Adventures, got all the secret rooms and was able to get the captain rank for Captain Foxy. And then, final level was the Corn Maze, which is just Corn Maze with Grim Foxy, who's actually new to this game. It wasn't in the Halloween update. Grim Foxy is just a Jacko version of Foxy, in my opinion. And yeah, in the Corn Maze, you have to collect 4 keys in order to unlock this purple key. Then go to the middle of the map, go into the basement, grab the Vanny mask, and then when you get back to the main area, use the Vanny mask, wear the Vanny mask, and hold the glitch trap plushie. And that's how you get your ending. It's super easy, super fun, super simple. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed the Curse of Dreadbear DLC. We finished off with a good time too of 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 12 seconds. That brings our total time up to 15 hours, 52 minutes, and 13 seconds. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach was a game that was released with mixed reactions because of the first free roam Five Nights at Freddy's game. But the appeal wasn't as scary. Instead of going for a more kid-friendly design, which, I mean, they would look more like they would be in a pizzeria for kids, instead of the dirty and destroyed animatronics like before. The challenges for this game is to get the 6 different endings, that being the Princess Quest ending, the Burn Trap ending, the Escape ending, the Car ending, the Fire ending, and the Vanny ending. This game, it's going to be a long one, so I'm going to try and summarize everything as quick as possible. So we started off the game by being inside of Freddy's chest, went through a vent, got a pass, then unlocked Freddy. Then waited for Freddy to run all the way to the recharge station, and then we ended up running away from the animatronics that we'll be facing during the majority of this game, that being Roxy, Monty, and Chica. After getting to the front door, which closed me in, I made my way over to the daycare. Met my good old friend's son. This friendship did not last at all, due to taking a key card and now being hunted down by his alter ego, Moon. After doing every generator in the daycare, son kicked us out, we hid in Freddy, and then we ran out of the daycare to see a fountain. I mean, to see Vanny skipping outside of the recharge station. Finally, we headed inside the Pizzaplex, the true Pizzaplex, through the elevator. Now, this is where we are introduced to the split paths, and we have to decide which one we want to take. I decided to go the basement route of the Pizzaplex because I find it would be a lot easier to go against Chica by herself. So, made our way to the basement, ran immediately to the security room, and then forced a staff bot to get attacked by Chica over pizza. Then tried to escape the basement, but eventually got caught by Vanessa and was taken to the Lost and Found room. We escaped there and heard that Freddy was trapped in Roxy's raceway, so I bolted over there to make sure that Freddy was going to be okay. After avoiding a ton of staff bots, I made my way into a security room and had to lock out both Monty and Roxy while opening doors for Freddy to come and rescue me. Eventually, we made our way to the main stage. Made my way to the top of the Pizzaplex in order to activate the Showtime disc. Ran all the way back to the stage and slowly started going underground. Ran away from Moon, ran away from Moon and hid inside of a recharging station while Freddy got kidnapped. Then I had to make my way to the Endo room. Escaped narrowly through all of the endos, collected the badge off the table, and ran for my life from how many were chasing me. I saw Vanessa interrogating Freddy, repaired him, and then we had to go get a party pass. We went over back into Freddy's room, used the vent to go to Chica's room, and unlock the party pass. Now this is where we can choose to face either Chica or Monty. Beating Chica would give us the Phaser Blast, and Monty the Phaz Cam. Now in my opinion, the Phaz Cam is overpowered as hell, so I decided to go for the Phaz Cam. And it would actually be a better decision because Monty has sunglasses, and eliminating those sunglasses off of Monty would be a massive help later on. Because with sunglasses, he's immune to the Phaser Cam, the Phaser Blast, and the Phaz Cam. So I went straight into Monty's Gator Golf, and went to the security room to get the camera. Before going to Mazer Size, I decided to go back to the daycare and went to the theater. Underground, there's a ton of endos, and I got myself the Mazer Size engineer card thing that allows me to control Mazer Size. Now, I'm exhausted, so I'm going to quickly go over a few things that I'm not going to be fully mentioning. Number one is the golden plushies. I was collecting the golden plushies throughout this playthrough, and you won't be seeing them being collected, but I collected all 6 of them, as well as playing the first 2 Princess Quest minigames for the Princess Quest ending. So these are both for endings, the Fire ending and the Princess Quest ending. I won't be showing too much of, I don't even know if I'll be showing much of that, just because I'm trying to summarize everything I did, and I don't really need to show all locations of everything that I found, like I kind of did with Help Wanted, but I was collecting them, don't worry. Then went to the maze, which is one of the most annoying things ever, fixed it, and then was going on to the Monty boss battle, faced Monty by shooting balls into the cup, and then saw Monty fall to his death, grabbed his claws, and changed plans. So I decided to go up to L Chips, which was the alternate path we could have taken at the beginning instead of going to the basement. Now, why did I decide to go to L Chips? Well, Monty and Roxy are both there, and they both have their eyes exposed. So I thought, oh, using the Faz cam, it should be really easy for me to be able to do all of this stuff, no issues. However, that didn't end up happening, and even though I flashed them, they would still walk toward me, so I still beat it without too much of a struggle, but regardless, that's what happened. Then I went to go upgrade Freddy and made my way over to Roxy's Raceway to get a staff bot head. Then went up to the DJ Music Man Fazcade and dropped off the head, flipped a few switches, and then ran like fucking hell from the Music Man. The Music Man is big, all right? He's a big guy. He's intimidating as all hell. We're running for our lives. Then got the head, went back to Roxy's Raceway and hopped on a go-kart, crashed into Roxy with the awesome slow-mo, grabbed Roxy's eyes, went to go upgrade Freddy, and finally, after all of this, escaped the Pizzaplex. That's one ending. All of that for one ending. It does get easier though, like how right after this I just went underground the same way I did before and unlocked that door to get the car ending. Now, this is where I need to go collect the final thing. I need to get the Phaser Blast and Chica's voice box. So I went straight to Phaser Blast. Played Phaser Blast, got the golden Phaser Blaster, went to the Bonnie Bowl and got the Monty Mix. Now, I'll show on screen actually right now me collecting the Monty golden plushie, I believe is in this one. And I had an issue. So I went back to L Chips to try and escape the fire ending. Both the staff bots were out of the way. However, when I walked up to the door, it didn't work. The ending did not activate for me. I'm 99% sure this is a bug because I had all 6 plushies at this time and it wouldn't open. So I'm going to count that as me getting the ending because that's kind of stupid. But I had all the plushies. I had everything. The game just glitched on me. There's nothing really I could do about that. And I wasn't about to restart all of Security Breach for one ending. Now, went to go and crush Chica in a trash compactor. Escaped the sewers. Upgraded Freddy. And then I made a crucial mistake by not going to go check on Vanny's hideout. So I ran back to see Vanny's hideout and got the other 2 endings, which is the Princess Quest ending, where I played Princess Quest 3, and I had to complete the first 2 already, as well as the Disassemble Vanny ending. Got all that done, 5 endings down, 1 to go. So I went straight over to Roxy's Raceway, went down an elevator, entered the old Five Nights at Freddy's 6 pizzeria, fell down a pit right next to the blob, and faced the final boss, Burn Trap. Defeated the final boss by just burning Burn Trap, which is kind of ironic, and got the cutscene of Burn Trap getting taken by the blob, and escaped, leaving us with a final time of 4 hours, 45 minutes, and 20 seconds, which, yeah, that took quite a while. But now the total time is up to 20 hours, 37 minutes, and 33 seconds. FNAF Security Breach Ruin is the perfect DLC for Security Breach. Now, Ruin fixes a lot of things wrong with Security Breach by making the areas a lot smaller and having it being more scary by destroying the pizzeria, as well as making the animatronics more terrifying. The challenges for this game will be to get the Mimic ending, the Brazil ending, as well as the Scooper ending. We start off entering the ruined Pizzaplex. We collect a flashlight on our way to pick up a Roxy walkie-talkie. We make our way through a run-down place before finding a Faz wrench and being taken out moments later by Ruined Monty. We travel to the ruins of Monty Golf, where we meet a mask bot, kind of similar to Mapbot, but he gives us a Vanny mask. Interesting. And it is also the design from the one from Curse of Dreadbear DLC, not the one we see in Security Breach. Now in this game, we need to disable security nodes in almost every part of this game. So for that, I'm not going to go too in depth with it. Just know if we're ever doing a task, it's usually deactivating security nodes using the Vanity mask. However, as we're disabling some nodes, we meet Mexus, which is honestly horrifying. It just comes out of frickin' nowhere and jump scares you. It is terrifying. But after this, Ruined Monty kind of comes out of nowhere and a path drops on top of him, and we eventually run away and go through a storage room and make our way to the outside of the daycare. When we try to eventually get in the daycare, however, Moon is there to stop us and is about to attack us before our flashlight kind of scares him off. Then when we finally get into an open area, Sun comes out of nowhere and tells us that we need to reboot him to make them whole, both Sun and Moon. We turn on floodlights throughout the daycare. Play structures, I guess is what they're called. And we go up to Sun and Moon, reboot them, and they become Eclipse. Who am I? Like, he's the coolest guy ever. He is one of my favorite animatronics ever. Like, look at him. He is a cool design. He's the nicest animatronic. He cares about the children. This guy, I would let him watch my kids. If he was all fixed up and not kind of terrifying, I trust him. He's a trustworthy animatronic in my opinion. Like he was full on like, oh my goodness, the children, they're gonna love this. I like Eclipse. I want to see him come back in later games because he is cool. He is cool. God damn it. Now, in this we have camera systems that we are able to check, and that is used for the Scooper ending, where we need to, on 4 certain cameras, zoom out, and we will have a fifth or another secret off-camera place that we can look at, and it'll open a door. I did 3 of these while through my playthrough, because if you do the 4th one, you can't get the Mimic ending, so I do that one and the Brazil ending before I do the Scooper ending. But I'm not going to tell everyone, like, oh, you have to do this, you have to, I did this to unlock this door, I did this to unlock. I did them on my own. It's all good. That'll go into a lot more detail with an upcoming video in the future. After leaving the daycare, we go to the theater and jump down a Glamrock Endo's mouth, which, I mean, side note, it is 100 feet tall. That is 100 feet tall. 100%, like, no question. No question about it. We then enter a ride which is all about Monty, which is interesting. It tells kind of Monty's backstory before landing on top of the catwalks and having to deactivate more nodes. We hop back on the cart and go to the cart repair station. We end up going into the kitchen. We see a creepy cupcake stare at us before knocking us over. Then we enter this weird AR world with Mexus just staring creepily at us. And then we go into Roxy's beauty salon, where we kind of run into Roxy and hide while she kind of looks for us. Then we have to go around turning off mask prohibitors, I think is what they're called. I'm just going to call them mask prohibitors. And we just have to kind of go through there before going back underground and electrocuting Monty, because, I mean, he deserves it. He's kind of a jerk. So I think Monty deserved it. We then lure Roxy around using the cameras to break through a bunch of wooden boards in order for us to open up paths. And right when we're about to escape, Roxy grabs us and yells at us. And we panic before Roxy kind of lets us go and says that she's sorry, which is kind of interesting. Like, why is she sorry and out of nowhere? Like, what the heck? What is going on? We then walk into Bonnie Bowl, where, I kid you not, there are about 10,000 mini music men. Slight exaggeration, but I mean, there are like hundreds of them, and it's kind of creepy. But regardless, we have to turn off all of the nodes in that area before going down an AR weird slide before ending up in Phaser Blast, which, I mean, checking out all the cool places. When we're in Phaser Blast, we kind of find this weird prototype Freddy that's chest is its mouth. I mean, kind of like Nightmare Fredbear, but it doesn't even have a head. It kind of reminds me of it might be from the Vanny ending where we disassemble Vanny, but I mean, that's kind of interesting to me. We have to run through Phaser Blast before putting on our mask and hiding, basically turning invisible to him. We're then forced to go to Roxy's Raceway to deactivate Roxy because she is the final security node. This scene hit hard. There was like no build up other than Roxy saying I'm sorry, but goddamn this hit hard and I felt bad. I felt bad for Kat. Like, man, that I don't know how they did that, but they made me feel bad for Roxy after she tried killing us. So, I mean, good on Steelwolf for doing that. We then head back underground, and now there is a new opening that leads to a lake. After going through the lake and we go past the Burn Trap boss fight, we enter a small room. We deactivate Mexus and unlock the door to see you're not Gregory. You're the Mimic. We are introduced to the Mimic. Right as the Mimic's about to attack us, boom! Roxy, out of goddamn desperation, plot armor, luck, is somehow alive and saves us. Somehow. We then run away from the Mimic before getting to the elevator where the real Gregory tells us we can't be followed, and we drop, which is the Mimic ending. We then replay the Mimic chase scene where now we find a Fredbear cutout. We have to put the mask on over there, and that's how we get the Brazil ending. Finally, I go back to the mini Music Man level, unlock the last of the doors, go back to the boss fight. Now the Mimic is wearing a mix of suits. It's kind of like a bunch of just random suits. And we lure it into the scooping room where a massive scooper scoops it. And we finish room with a time of 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 58 seconds. Which means our total time right now is 22... I don't know if I said that correctly. 22 hours, 34 minutes, and 31 seconds. Five Nights at Freddy's 2... Well, not 2. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2. Jeez. Missed the whole Help Wanted part in the middle of that. Probably my second favorite game in the franchise. FNAF and VR just work together, man. I don't know what to tell you. There are a ton of new and unique minigames in this. And some returning old ones that, didn't get a VR version in the original. The challenges for this game is to get the Princess Quest ending and the Maskbot ending. Again, this will be a long one. Started off by painting with sun, which was pretty fun. Went down to a freezer to unfreeze Freddy Fazbear, Glamrock Freddy Fazbear, and gave him a cake. And then played one of my favorite levels, which is the merry-go-round. I was horrified by this level, but it is so fun. You're fixing a merry-go-round while Moon is creeping up closer and closer to you. It's so much fun. I really think this is a great, scary, unique, and fun minigame. Got employed by L-Chips. Heck yeah, that's awesome. Learned some good first aid tips from Helpy while Big Patch was kind of hunting me down in the FNAF 6 location. Then dealt with some traumatic but fun time by bashing a mallet into Bonnet and Plush Baby's heads because of all the torment they caused me in the Plush Babies level and in Custom Night. I think they deserved it. Actually crawled through Balora's gallery, like in FNAF sister location. Physically crawling it too, which is honestly it was a workout. Made some drinks in Fizzy Faz Night 1. Vibed with my boy DJ Music Man. Not once, but twice. That was a lot of fun. Worked in the kitchen of the Pizzaplex and then played some good old Phaser Blaster. Now, this is an important time to note that in certain mini games like Phaser Blast, you need to do certain tasks to get these voodoo puppet doll things, but I'm not going to go again too deep into it, but you need them in order to unlock the Princess Quest ending, and that's what I was doing whenever I played those levels, was doing that mission. Moving on. Went on to Fizzy Faz Part 2, played a god-awful scary mode, which was Breaker Room, because seeing how big and terrifying Funtime Freddy is with that creepy-ass voice, it's horrifying. It's a great mode, don't get me wrong, but it was horrifying to play. Then, did something a lot more calm by dressing up some staff bots for a performance. Went bowling at Bonnie Bowl. Learned more first aid while Lefty hunted me down this time. Played the private room level from Sister Location Button VR. Cleaned up Roxy's makeup. Played some more Wild West Phaser Blast. Rode on Foxy's log ride, which was really cool. And then this is kind of where I started to take off the Vanny Mask and started doing more of the, I guess, nightmare version of the minigames, or the real mode. I don't know what to call this mode. So, we're calling it Nightmare. We're going to call it the Vanny Off. We got Vanny On and Vanny Off mode. Of course, got to start with my boy Ruin, DJ Music Man. Still vibing. Did Bonkabon 2. Became a teacher and taught Glamrock Endos. Did Bellora's private room custom night level. I tried my hardest to make Ruin Roxy look good, but yeah, it didn't really work out. Wasn't in the cards. Painted some more with Moon hunting us down this time, while also having to recharge a flashlight, which is always fun. Then, because we just spent time with Moon, let's go meet Jacko Moon, which is just a Jacko version of Moon, which was so cool. The merry-go-round level with Jacko Moon and everything's on fire. They know how to make this mini game amazing. They know how to make Moon, Sun, Moon, Eclipse, the whole shebang. God tier, absolutely god tier. Then worked in the theater, played Fizzy Faz Nights 3 and 4, took a break, did some first aid with Scrap Baby hunting me, then did Fizzy Faz Night 5. Played Phaser Blast 1 and FNAF 1 and FNAF 2. Which ended with the place being on fire. Returned to FNAF 3 Phaser Blast, which kind of was fitting how everything burnt down, and of course you go into FNAF 3. And then we now hunted down Springtrap using the resources that we had available. Now, I decided to go straight for one of the endings, and that was the Princess Quest 4 ending. Got in, was basically playing an arcade game, got attacked by the princess, given this awesome sword that, God, I want that in real life. It looks so cool. Collected this Bonnie mask thing, and then was locked inside of a claw machine as a 1 billion foot Vanny looked down at me in there. Yeah, I really don't know either. But that's one ending down and one to go. So we decided to beat the Funtime Nights level. It was, again, Sister Location. Did the Breaker Room hard mode, which is just Breaker Room with Yendo, and then got interviewed by Baby. I mean, I'll take it. I got free ice cream in the end, so I'm all good with that. Then got terrified by some staff bots, gave a mask to Cassie to finish with a time of 3 hours, 26 minutes, and 33 seconds, which means our total time for this challenge is 26 hours, 1 minute, and 4 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, after countless hours, it is done. We beat 5 Nights at Freddy's, from beginning to end, 30 endings, 10 games, 2 DLCs in almost less than 26 hours. Now, full spoiler, this video was originally going to be a 30-hour challenge, but I felt like it was going to be too easy, so I cut it down to 27, and if I cut it to 26, that would have been the closest thing ever. But regardless, guys, I hope you all seriously enjoyed this video. There is much more of this new style of content that I want to do on the channel. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure to please leave me a like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching all the way through, and I'll see you guys all next time. Peace out.